there I am.
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
So I left my ID at the bank where I was just at with you, talking to you. That's my day today.
So did Paul understand? What was that? Paul understand? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry? Musty, yeah, because of the air conditioning.
All right, it's still printing.
Phone off or turn it down.
Hey Liz, it's Carla. Do I need to create a notes page?
What? I
Do
did
I
not
need-
read a notes page, so my bad.
Okay. That's all right. I will take care of it.
You know, Liz, we can only see like your ear and your eye.
Okay. I'm
Hi.
doing something on the computer, so I can't see anything.
Got it.
You don't want to see her mean face right now anyways.
What did you do to her that made her mean?
I can't tell you right now.
There we go. All right, back to- We have.
Do you need more room and I'll sit back?
Mike Murray,
Where?
there he is. I gotta take my notepad off.
What
What
happened to you?
do you mean what happened to me?
Looks like you aged a few years.
I am. This is the, being in quarantine does that to a person.
You look
All
good.
these-
But I miss you, buddy.
Plus you got a real close-up view of me, which ain't pretty, so.
No, you're right.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Oh, he's on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Which Enterprise is that, Tom?
The D, the one
The
from the
D.
show.
From Next Generation?
Yeah, from Next Gen, yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
fun?
There you go.
Oh, you can play around with backgrounds.
Oh,
on
that's
Zoom.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have to do that now. Yeah. Instead of
I
looking
can only
at
imagine what
my
you're gonna
floppy
come up
workshop. There's my other background. Like that one?
Yeah,
You call that sticky note.
looks like pea green.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a fluorescent green, see?
Kind of like the front.
Okay.
It does look a little bit like pea, doesn't it?
I kind of
Is Michelle going to be on with us today?
I believe she is. And Scott is supposed to be joining us as well.
Hmm. Is that Barry in the background?
Yes. How you doing, sir?
Hi, Barry. I've heard a lot about you.
I'm sure Mike has.
All good.
Okay.
Mike would know. He's wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
This.
Did I hear somebody else join us?
Hi, Liz. Rain.
Hi. Wait.
Make it so, number one.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything on your screen? Mine's all black.
All right. Is that
No, I know there's a list of the
5, 6, 4,
people,
3.
but I can't see anything on the screen itself.
okay? There's
I have
not
a
right now. We
participant
just
list.
have. Are you, Mary D? Are you on 5643129? Oh, there's
I
Mary
don't have
D.
a speaker. Remember?
Okay.
I don't know, just a regular old remote.
Okay.
Oh,
Bye.
can you hear us?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we're doing some group work here. So it's Michelle, Kim Kopman, and Scott.
Slow connection there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're here, here at the union office. You have Liz Cannon.
Mike Murray, CWA.
Mary Dean, CWA.
Jennifer Freeland, IRCEA. Sorry.
I see Jennifer and Jermaine who are on the team. Matt is, he's our social media coordinator, and we have Tom Lentz, who is our interim service unit director, joining us. And Carla. Oh, I almost forgot you, Carla. My bad.
Yeah, don't forget Carla.
Right. Are we?
I'm here too.
Hi.
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 Good to see you all.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, the
Good to be
picture's the
seen.
best. I like that. Okay. Liz, are we online then?
Yep. And I was going to, there's a way to record. Okay. Oh,
There is.
we are recording, I believe. Okay. So all of that was recorded. Awesome.
Very good. So this is our first bargaining session with respect to the reopener with the CWA and the IRCEA and the district for 2020 healthcare discussions. And I'm Michelle Oak from the district. I'm here with Deputy Superintendent Scott Bass, Kim Kopman, and we've done introductions around the room for everybody else, I believe. And Liz, can you reintroduce your team?
Okay, I'm Liz Cannon. We have Tom Lentz from FEA. For Freeland, Carla Cundiff, Jermaine Johnson, and Matt Rallo.
Good. And we also have Dr. Suit here online.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And good afternoon, Paul. It's been a while since we've gotten to see you.
Good to see you, Michelle. It has been a while.
Yep, it sure has. All right, so.
also have Amy and Mary D.
yep.
Yeah, we have Amy and Mary D joining us too, and they're kind of our subject matter experts with respect to some specific questions if they come up.
Okay.
So we wanted to kind of kick off our dialogue today with just a statement or two that I'd like to make. Number one, I appreciate everybody being here. I'm glad everybody's looking happy and healthy while we're still in the twilight zone here. And secondly, to congratulate the IRCEA in ratifying their contract. Very pleased about how everything's going. We really appreciate that, and I hope to continue the positive dialogue with both IRCEA and CWA as we move forward with these next projects, so to speak. So good afternoon. So Liz, do you want to start us out with just starting to discuss these principles?
Sure. One of the things, and we, between IRCEA and CWA, we have talked about this a lot. I understand that the AON has come across with a projection of a 10% increase, splitting the difference between 6.5 on premiums and 3.5 to be absorbed by the fund. I have a little question about this. I was still working the numbers as far as like the projections for the fixed costs. I do have some questions about that because I'm still not 100% sure on that. But we were willing, what I did is I sat down and we looked at the potential of raising the total premium by 6.4%. If you don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen with you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Now I got to remember which one's which. So you got to give me a minute first to find the correct one.
We're all still learning Zoom, so.
Yeah.
All right. So Sheet one. Okay. So I've got a lot of windows open, so that doesn't help much. So I'm going to go there. Okay. And of course that's way small. So I'm going to enlarge it, and then you guys may be familiar with this. This is the same spreadsheet we've been using for a while when it comes to health insurance, and it's served me well. So what you're seeing here is the numbers in the actives all, and we decided when we did this, we were going to do, I do have a spreadsheet that includes just members of our bargaining unit and members of CWA, but I think for the purposes of this discussion, let's just go with all actives.
Yeah.
These are the the most recent census numbers. And then what we've done is, this is your current monthly rate up at the top where it says total monthly rate. And then the proposed monthly rate includes a 6.4. I'm going to tell you why. 6.4 gave us some even numbers here, and I really like even numbers. And I felt like the surplus in the fund could handle that 0.1%. So these would be the total premiums prior to board contribution. We still are pushing, just as we did, just as IRCEA did so at the the legislative hearing. We are looking for a board contribution equal to that of the employee-only contribution, monthly employee-only contribution made by the county, which is $660. And as you can see, how this would calculate out, this is current up at the top. Current in the blue would be the monthly contribution. Monthly contribution would be the new rate, and then we can see decreases for all employees because, and let's be honest, the employees bore the brunt of that 35% increase, and therefore do deserve some sort of a release on this. Our expected costs, and one of the things I do want to add into, express with the expected additional cost, you'll notice that the 5774 has a $600 premium. The board contribution obviously would only be $600 for those on that plan. So this calculation does exclude the 425 individuals. It does reduce it by 425 times 60 times. So the additional annual cost would be approximately $2 million. Questions?
Well, you know, and I hear and I appreciate this work that you did to do this proposal. This is very interesting to us. You know, looking at a jump from 540 to 660 as you propose, is a pretty big jump. Can you kind of help us understand, you know, how we got to that number for your proposal?
Very simply, it is what the board contribution, a monthly board contribution for the county insurance.
County commission.
Last August, if I'm not mistaken, we were invited to the interlocal government workshop regarding insurance. They actually have not only a 660 board contribution for their employee only, but they have an over $1,000 board contribution for their employees plus family. So yes, it is to make things right, because truthfully, the insurance contribution should have gone up significantly 3 years ago. This, I realize it's a big jump, but it's a big jump because it hasn't been increasing on a level that it really should have been.
Do you remember the last time that they have increased the board contribution?
They increased it on December 5th, 2016 at our impasse hearing.
Okay.
Was what year was the 30-something% increase? Was that 2 years ago?
No, in 2016.
2016, okay.
Yeah. From a pure negotiating standpoint, I think that that number, you know, while a comparator to the county, is a significant jump for us, and I'm not sure how we could necessarily sell that to the board. That's a very, very large number, all of a sudden increasing by $2 million. You know, I don't know how many employees the county has. You know, I'm not sure if we're comparing apples to apples or oranges to oranges.
Actually, we're not. Their total subscriber count, if I'm not mistaken, was very close to ours.
Liz, do you remember what their overall premium cost was?
Well, I do happen to, I was actually speaking to somebody and they're actually going up. What did he say the other day? Something like 25%. They're about to go up 25%.
On their contribution from?
No, on their total premium, if I'm not mistaken.
We've been very
the
fortunate.
data. I mean, as I said, I received the data at the interlocal government workshop last year. It was it in August?
I believe it was August.
Yeah. And that's where I received the data.
Okay.
And you know something, I understand that it is a big jump, but the problem is, this is exactly what we've been saying. If they made the increases as they should have, when they could have afforded it, we were requesting $600 in 2016. They said they couldn't afford it. And then the general fund balance doubled that year from its budgeted standpoint. So we've been, it's a big jump. It is a big jump. So was the 35% that we had to absorb. And then we wound up, also for the record, there's still one more payment that the board promised on that insurance increase that the board is paid. I know that they put it in last year. They put in last year's. There was expected to be one more this year as well. And that was 1.56 million.
So is there flexibility in your proposal?
I mean, it's negotiations. Of course there's flexibility, but my feeling is any of this increase should not be absorbed by any employee.
You know, as you know, last year we absorbed fully the increases and gave employees no increase in premium. And so I think, you know, this year we have to look at, you know, some increase to the employee contribution as well.
Well, no, last year the board did what was fiscally unsound by putting the money into the fund and creating a surplus in the fund. As far as absorbing it, in 2016, we, the employees, absorbed the deficit and the safe harbor in addition to our increases. And we've been absorbing this for years. So in that, no, there isn't much flexibility there.
And, you know, and Liz, with you know, at risk of you know, pissing you off basically, but
yeah.
In the spirit of the fact that we've had frank dialogue and the ability to say these things to each other, Mike, you know, Liz, you know, I would say to you, I feel like I can pretty much kind of lay it out there with you guys. You know, that was 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago. When do we get to move on? And
After our last payment.
Excuse me? I didn't hear that, I'm sorry.
It was Jennifer. I was commentating. I was saying that we can move on when our last payment's paid.
Okay, so again, none of that was in any sort of MOUs or agreements or anything at that time. And I believe last year we had determined that the district had made all that right. Now, are you guys saying that that's not right?
No, we said they made it right for last year. There was still one more payment. And it wasn't necessarily in an MOU. It was in a state document sent to the insurance commissioner.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that document. But
actually, we shared it at our impasse.
Okay, I don't know what document that is. I'll go back and look. But point is and what I'm trying to say without being provocative to you all, and with all due respect, you know, I want to look forward, not backward. We can't necessarily fix every single thing from the past. That 35%, I know you guys, live with that all the time. 35% sounds like a huge number, but in actual dollars, how much really was it? 20, 30 bucks?
No, I had to drop down. I dropped down from the 5770 to the 5772.
Mm-hmm.
Increased my per paycheck payment by $50.
Uh-huh.
So
And I had a
$100,
same thing.
that is $100 a month, $12 more I paid a year for lesser insurance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I mean, I understand, and I know you weren't here for that, and I get that. I'm not blaming anyone in the room for it, but that was a significant hit to the employees of Indian River County.
Yeah, and I understand all that.
That we got a 3% decrease basically because of our FRS. So we were taking home less that year.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, so it is still very, very fresh in the minds of our employees.
I get it, but we also have to realize that, I believe our current board has, taken steps toward rectifying some of those problems of the past in terms of, better managing things going forward, and and their stance, especially last year with no increases to employees, while at the same time increasing wages and coming up with, what I would call good fundamentals in terms of wages and take-home pay. So that being said, I would like to have a little bit of the goodwill created from that as we move forward, because like I said, I can't fix the past. It was a wreck. There's nothing we can do about that per se, but we also want to move forward with cost increases and things that the district can sustain and reasonably do. And I'm not positive that 660 isn't very, very aggressive for us.
Well, we do have an alternative plan that I don't mind sharing with you.
Okay.
And it's a little bolder, but it actually does cost less.
Okay, I'm listening.
Liz, would it be out of line to ask if you could email these to us when we finish?
Oh, we'd be happy to at the end.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
I actually also did start a OneDrive folder, which is where I was going to place these, and I was going to share it with all of you as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
We're still working on getting.
Is this the right one? This isn't the right one. Nope, sorry. I got to get the correct one.
Okay.
And it doesn't want to click. All right. I think it's easier to see in PDF form, so. Sorry.
Somewhere in the middle of what they're asking.
Well, yeah. Liz, do you mind if we mute for a moment?
No, go right ahead.
Okay.
Is this the right one?
No, it says 660.
Oh, it's all right. I'm trying to just say it's saving them all. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Sorry. Is this the right one? Nope. There we go.
Liz, just so you know, you're not muted.
I know.
Okay, so as you're talking to yourself, we can hear that. It's okay. You're not saying
I
anything
didn't
bad.
actually talk to myself.
I'm just making sure you don't have an argument with yourself and lose in front of everybody.
Are we referring to me having a sharing issues? Okay.
No, I just wanted to make sure we were all good.
Technically, she's talking to Mike because he's right next to her.
Yes.
Could be.
Yes, we're conversing between each other.
All right. Whenever they're ready, I know they've muted us, so.
No, I think they've muted us. I think they've muted
Can you hear us
themselves.
now?
We can hear you. Would you?
Okay, we're back.
Okay. So we also thought of the idea of, and again, it looks like it would be, you know what? I don't think it's ready for work because it's coming up wrong. So
Oh, it is? Okay.
I'm gonna have to play with it a little bit more because the numbers are not coming up properly. I apologize.
Oh.
I thought I was ready and it's not. So,
Can you tell us the concept anyway?
well, we were looking at a tiered approach. And I think the numbers weren't adding up correctly. When I just looked at that, I saw some numbers that weren't adding. So let me continue playing with that and I will be happy to share that at another time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good.
But by having a lower contribution at the employee level and raising the contribution for the spouse or family, it could adjust the total costs.
Okay. All right. What is the most important thing to your members at this time?
That their costs do not increase.
Okay. You know, again, we didn't make increases at all last year. I'm not sure it's realistic to get into the habit of no increases every year. I just think that sets us up like we had in the past. But I understand the concept of keeping increases as minimal as possible. Are you guys open to that type of concept?
Well, go ahead, whoever was going. Do you want to?
My position, our position, CWA's position is we're open to any concept provided it can be justified and it makes sense. However, given the set of circumstances that we're dealing with now, the idea of increasing health insurance costs on working people in general is just the wrong thing in my mind to go in that direction. People need the income that they have to survive at this point. And cutting their wages by increasing their healthcare insurance costs is not going to help them, and it's not going to help the economy. It's just not a good thing to do. I have a question though, and I'd like to refer back to the handout from the special meeting from April 16th, 2020, page 4. Do you have that? Do you have that with you?
I have one with me.
Hello, Maureen.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Maureen.
Is this the right page, Paul?
No, I'm looking at the top of the page. It says funding illustration. That's it right there.
Page 4.
Okay.
Page 4.
And I'm looking at bullet 3. what it refers to a non-recurring board transfer used to fund the 10-1-19 plan costs. What specifically does that refer to?
Mary Dee, you want to speak to that one?
Yeah, Kim can speak to it better than I can in
Okay.
regards to numbers. That's the money that was put into the account is agreed upon. That's what Liz referenced earlier in regards to what they thought was a contribution that should have been made in the past. And it's right at like, I think 1.2, correct, Kim? Like 800 something was put in first, and then
We're talking about bullet one. I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Bullet
anything.
3.
Bullet three.
Bullet 3.
Okay.
Is that the 1.35 million one-time board transfer mentioned in bullet 1?
yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
believe so. Yes.
Okay, so you look at this bullet itself. It says 10-1-20 projected plan cost is increasing 4.5%, but the premium increase is 6.5% due to the non-recurring board transfer used to fund the 10-1-19 plan costs. So in essence, the increase in the premium, that extra, what is it, 2%, is being used to make up for that one-time funding. We're paying that back, in other words. And I didn't think that that was the purpose of that increase or that fund transfer. I thought that was a one-time, and I hesitate to call it a gift because none of this can be called a gift. But
Healthcare is never a gift.
yeah, but increasing the premium increase an extra 2% in order to make up for that one-time transfer in 19 isn't what I thought we were doing here, and that to me is very disturbing.
Okay. I'm not totally sure I understand bullet 3. Can you clarify it all? Or is
I
that?
don't. I think you're
question?
saying the projected plan overall cost is increasing 4.5%.
Well,
But in order to meet that, the premiums have to increase.
so think about it this way. That one-time cost offset those expenditures at that time, period. Those expenditures continue to move forward into the next plan year, plus your additional projection. So that money doesn't just like go away. Those costs and those expenditures are still there. They just happen to be offset that year by that contribution. The expenditure is still moving forward.
Were you able to hear that, Paul?
I did hear it. Yes, thank you. I don't think that's what it says there. And what I would like to know is, whoever, when they drafted this particular PowerPoint, what was the data underlying the assumption or the statement that's made here? Because it sure looks to me
on
that the extra 2% is due to that one-time payment in the past that it's an increase, that we're increasing 2% due to having done that in the past. That's the way I read it. And if that's not so,
what it's saying,
I'd like to know how it's not so.
So we'll get some clarification, Paul, because I agree it's not terribly clear exactly what we're saying here.
Okay,
So
thank you.
We'll get that from Ron, our CFO, who is not in this meeting today.
So in other
Okay.
words, we really need to review the projected increase that because maybe that's the issue. Because and truthfully, I miss that. And I think what Paul's saying is, it seems to me like we are being charged for last year's non-increase.
Yeah, I don't think that's
this
what's
year.
going on.
And so-
Really, I don't. But we can certainly get some clarification on that statement there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, it doesn't work that way. Increases to healthcare occur every year, and we don't use old money to charge extra for new money. No, there's increases every year. We know that with healthcare. Healthcare, unfortunately, rarely if ever goes downward. Healthcare inflation, is running nationally about 6.7%. I believe that was last year, and I believe it's even the case this year.
Yes, ma'am, and that's cited here.
Yeah, so
And we've
those-
rarely followed the national.
healthcare doesn't ever go down.
Well,
and
we actually did for 3 years. We had a negative trend.
Yeah, national trend never goes down hardly. Our trend, we're self-insured, it goes up and down. And being self-insured, we're taking that risk. And yes, we've had some good claim years, et cetera, et cetera. So, but healthcare in general always continues to go up. It's unfortunate, it's kind of a national crisis. We all know that. That being said, I want to take your proposal and we'd like to construct a counter proposal so we can continue this dialogue with you. And we really kind of wanted to fully hear what both unions' perspectives were with respect to your proposal and how firmly you feel about that proposal.
Well, one of the things that I think we can both agree on, and especially looking at this page, I don't know that we need to increase the premium by 6.5%. I think we can increase the premium by a lower, it looks to me like 4.5%. And our hope is that the board contribution will absorb the majority of that because of the history. I understand what you're saying. We need to learn to let go and everything. It was let go on us. So we're not willing to let go on this.
And I get that, Liz, I really, really do. But how long are we going to suffer the thing? 20 years, 10 years, 5 years?
Well, we're still in the years that they were going to be paying back the deficit in safe harbor. So
when we discussed all this last year, I don't recall ever hearing the number $3 million. Never heard it.
What, 3 million?
No number we ever discussed, 1.5.
It was 1.5 per year, and there was still another year. And I actually said it at,
why didn't that come up at
the
impasse?
document.
Why didn't that come up at impasse
And
though?
I think
It did.
I can say for clarification, there were 4 payments of 1.5. There
No,
was
1 payment of 2.3 and 3 payments of 1.56.
And so
And
you're
so
saying
there's another 1.5 out there somewhere.
Yes.
So you're saying there's only been a payment of 2.3 and then a 1.5 and a 1.5.
Correct.
There's supposed to be another 1.5.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna have to research. This is kind of the first time I'm understanding or hearing that. I understood we were done, finished, and over last year.
Michelle, this is Mike.
Yes.
You're asking when we can move on. We can move on when, we were promised this at a board meeting. We were promised this on a public meeting. And then it was reneged on us during this increase. We can move on and when we get what we were promised. This was a publicly held meeting. This was a promise between the CFO and the school district, and now it's being reneged. We have no problem moving forward once this process is done.
Hey, Mike, what year was this public meeting?
Where all that happened?
2016.
2016.
Remember the month?
It was, well, you're talking about over the course of this all started in the beginning of the year, and then it was going back and forth, and a lot of it was determined at impasse hearing, but the insurance document is given earlier. If I'm gonna unshare my screen and I will bring it up for you.
Well, we'll go back and look, but I'm having a hard time getting a grasp on when these exact numbers were laid out, because it's been a little confusing, and forgive me for, not being here long enough to have understood that history, but, I'm going to need to go back and listen to what commitments were made and when and by whom, because really, I really truly had the impression that we were done, finished, and over last year. And so to hear that there's suddenly another $1.5 million out there that is kind of surprising.
And I would ask, is it a total dollar amount, or was it 4 payments of 1.5, 6 payments of 1.5?
Hang on, I almost have it. I'm opening it right now.
This is Freeland. Liz and Murray, was it that at Christmas time that was
December
voted on?
5th, 2016. And this was a document from September. This is from Carter Morrison, who is then at that time. So here are the 4 payments, and I realize it says 1920, and they adjusted the amounts. Instead of doing the 1.75, they did 2.3 million in the first year, and then they adjusted them to 1.56. Remember, they didn't pay it in 1819, they paid it in 1920.
Okay. So what's the date on that document? Because honestly.
16-17 deficit year, ma'am.
Okay. So September 27th, 2016. Okay.
Can we mute for a moment?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
ask one more thing. So there was no document between the unions and the district regarding this issue, correct?
If you listen to the meeting on December 5th, 2016, this was agreed to at the impasse hearing.
Who agreed to it at the impasse meeting?
Dr. Rendell and the school board.
Okay. All right. We're going to have to research that because honestly, I've not really understood that whole issue. I'm not saying you're wrong in any way, shape, or form. You might be exactly right. But, you know, I would have wished that we kind of understood that last year so we could put this thing to bed. You know, if in fact they've obligated the district in some way. So that being said, let's kind of shift back to your proposal for just a moment. 4 years later, is that a firm proposal from you all, or, you know, can we have more dialogue about it? Are you open to a counter proposal? Kind of help me understand what you know.
Well, we absolutely.
Are you putting your foot down or not?
Negotiation is all about it is going back and forth, but especially after Paul's point to what that document were about the increase. That is a big factor. Perhaps we do not have to increase the total premiums by 6.5%. Perhaps we can do it by 4.5%, thus reducing the need for a higher board contribution.
Well, we'll take a look at that. Again, I don't know what that language is exactly saying. So, but okay, good.
Well, their projections for fixed costs, the fixed costs have not increased by nearly as much as they've stated for last year. And therefore, I can tell you right now, the fixed costs are actually much lower than expected. Admin fees are 2.5%, and this is different. I haven't had a chance to. I want to look at the time frame that AOM was working with, but just this year, admin fees are 2.5% less than they were the previous year. Stop loss fees are 9.1% less than the previous year. Clinic fees are up by 1.9%, which is kind of normal. But if you look at, you know, our prescription rebates are higher this year than they were last year. Our EGWP subsidies are higher this year than they were last year. And our stop loss recoveries are higher this year than they were last year. So when we're looking at fixed fees, those are the things that we're looking at, and they're actually down over the prior year.
Hey, I put us on mute for a moment again here.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
So let me help you back up to the administrator.
Would you put us on mute as well?
Liz?
Is that possible? Liz?
Yes.
Are we muted?
No. You want to mute yourself, or you want me to mute you?
Well, no, I want them to not be able to hear us.
Okay, I don't think we can do that.
You didn't do the invite, Liz?
Yeah, how do I do that?
I'm not sure. I'm looking right now.
You guys would need to call each other, like do a conference call on a phone, because the way the invite is, you won't be able to mute everyone.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Paul, if you go up to the top of your screen and you see the little buttons, there's a place there that you can push mute.
Yeah, that'll mute me.
Right.
Right. I was looking to see if we could talk to ourselves in private, but it doesn't appear that we can do that without making a phone call.
No, we can't talk while and not let them hear us. We would have to probably use Teams or something else in conjunction.
We could ask them to call back.
I mean, I can talk.
15 minutes.
Yeah. Give us all.
Yeah, we can do that if you want.
Can we caucus for a few minutes? We'll ask you guys to go off and then just link back up.
Yeah, let me call them and let them know.
All right.
We're technically challenged. It takes us a moment.
I learned how to put people in the waiting room. So
my whole life's been in the waiting room.
All right.
All right.
Well, we just wanted to talk. We're open to any kind of, if you would like to counter our offer. That's where we stand. I'll be happy to send you the spreadsheet, and now our rates are in our contract, whereas they're not listed in CWAs, but I feel like, it could be something that gives some clarity to both, to have the actual rates posted. So I will definitely share those. Do you want me to just email them, or do you want me to share a OneDrive folder?
Email would be easier, Liz.
Yeah, send it to me, Scott and Edwina, please. And then, yes, we would like to consider a counter to your proposal. We're gonna need a little time to noodle what that is gonna look like. So we'd like to propose another bargaining session, in a week or so.
You want to pick a time now?
Two things I just wanted to bring up. And Paul, I think I'm gonna, hang on, I just gotta go to the, Paul had a question about this document. This is the board memo from the last week's health insurance meeting, where we talked about the 10-119 projected plan cost less the one-time born, because the cost projections have changed after being refreshed with more recent data. We wanted some clarification on that.
Specifically, what is the data from when, and is it available, or is it in some other form somewhere else that we can take a look at it?
So I can help.
"Quote unquote" more recent data.
We want the clarifications on these two bullet points, the second and the third bullet points.
Those assumptions and trends are all described in those assumptions that are on that page, which I think is your page 4.
Well,
is that the document that you're referring to?
No.
Page 4?
Remember, page 4, bullet 2. Can you put the pointer on that, Liz?
Right here.
Right there, where it says, and I'll just read the last part, because the cost projections have changed after being refreshed with more recent data. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What more recent data are we referring to?
Shall I answer that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just the data through the end of February. And he speaks to that in the footnote number 1. And the specific situation there, Liz kind of alluded to it earlier in regards to our new catastrophic claims. We have a number of high catastrophic claims that will be hitting our catastrophic limit of 215, 225.
Okay, and what
Those
what months?
expenditures came through in February.
Okay.
And that
And
was
Liz,
discussed at the high-tech meeting, by the way.
Okay, the other one is clarifying
We're
the third
discussing
bullet.
it here. Go ahead, Liz, I'm sorry.
We also want some clarification on the third bullet point.
Yes, I have that as a note.
Yep.
Okay. Did you want to put a date on the calendar for talking again?
Yeah, we're just curious, was this meeting noticed?
What, I'm sorry?
Was this meeting noticed?
I believe so. I don't know for sure. It should have been, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
That's a great question. I can find out. I just don't know in front of me.
Okay.
Presumably yes, but I'm not sure.
I mean, do we want to Thursday next week? Maybe too late. Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday are good for us.
Same here.
Okay. You guys okay?
Thursday? Like same
Oh.
time, same channel?
Well, go ahead.
That's fine.
As far as physical plan, or as far as Barry, Dean, and myself, we're supposed to be starting back to work on Monday, so we may have to pick a different time if we're still going to continue to proceed with Monday as our first day of work. I'm not sure if that's been discussed in full yet, but that's something that we.
I'll have that
Hey.
information today.
Hey, Mike, let me just throw this out there. Mike, I'll talk to you afterwards on the phone.
All right, no problem, no problem.
So did we say Wednesday or did we say Thursday?
I think Thursday would probably be better.
Okay.
Okay.
Thursday's better for me.
Okay, and what time?
And Mike, this is what I want to talk to you about when we get done, but let's say 1 o'clock again.
Okay.
Does that work for everyone?
Yes.
Oh, you
Liz,
do
you'll
this.
send us an invite?
I will do so. I can do that right after we log off.
All right.
Paul, is that
Sounds
good for
good.
you?
That's fine, yes.
Okay.
Hey, Scott and Michelle,
Pardon?
I need to talk to you guys, so I'll give you a call when we're off.
Yeah, we'll have you call here again.
Okay. 7th at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
2 days after Cinco de Mayo.
Yep, and Star Wars Day. 3 days after Star Wars Day.
Oh, that's right.
All right. Any other open issues for today? I believe
just got one
that,
quick-
I'm sorry?
No, you first, Michelle.
Oh, no, go ahead, Mike.
I just wanted to know if Scott was going to contact me or should I contact Scott?
I'm gonna call you in probably 5 minutes.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Okay. All right, and I know none of us like talking about this topic of healthcare. It's not easy for anybody. It's not easy for the district. It's not easy for our employees. It just sucks, let's face it. But I do appreciate the open and honest dialogue that you guys have with us and that we can have with you as we work through this issue. So I do appreciate this meeting and look forward to our next one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
I'll talk later, Paul.
Bye-bye. Take care, everybody.